All right, so if you're working in the built environment, you know the feeling, right? One minute, everything's on track. The next, it's just chaos. Today, we're going to break down a really powerful strategy. It's all about integrating contract management, risk management, and dispute resolution. The goal? To give you proactive control and, well, actually succeed.
Now let's get one thing straight right from the get-go. The stakes here are incredibly high. I mean, this isn't some textbook warning. It's a harsh reality that's playing out across the industry every single day. When you don't really get the risks, it's not just the project that tanks. It can literally bring down the whole company.
So where does this whole cascade of failure even begin? More often than not, it starts with a really simple and probably very familiar problem: silos. Let's dig into how these internal walls become one of the biggest threats to just about any project.
And this right here, this is the root cause. Think about it. You've got the legal team drafting a contract over here. The project team is out there executing it. Finance is trying to manage the budget over there. But are they really truly speaking the same language? Nope. And that lack of mutual understanding, that's exactly where the first cracks in the project start to show up.
And wow, this just lays it out perfectly. It's a total domino effect. It all kicks off with that siloed process. That creates this lack of shared understanding, right? Which then leads to picking an unsuitable, just wrong, contract structure. From that point on, you're on a fast track to all sorts of downstream issues, claims, disputes, which, like we just said, can end in total project failure or even take the company down. It's a depressingly predictable, but also preventable cascade.
So that really is the million-dollar question, isn't it? If we can see the path to failure so clearly, how do we build a clear path to success? Well, it's going to take a pretty fundamental shift in our strategy. And that brings us right to the solution: a proactive management strategy. Look, this is all about a huge shift in mindset. We're moving away from constantly firefighting to actually preventing fires in the first place. It's about working smarter, not just harder, by having an integrated plan right from day one. So what's the objective here? It's really to build best practices into the entire contract lifecycle. When you do that, you're enabling your teams to make the right choices at the right time for the right project. It's all about being intentional instead of just reacting to whatever comes up.
Okay, so how do we actually build this system? Well, it all rests on 3 core pillars. Let's jump into the first one: contract management. You can think of this as the absolute bedrock of any successful project.
And this is so much more than just getting a signature on a piece of paper. Way too often, contract management is just seen as this legal hurdle you have to clear to get started. But if you look at it strategically, it's an incredibly powerful tool for boosting performance and, just as important, shielding the project from a ton of unnecessary risk. And to really master it, you've got to understand the whole shebang, the entire contract lifecycle, the key differences between various delivery methods and structures, and of course, using the right tools to manage it all. Every single one of these components is a critical lever you can pull to get more control over your project.
All right, so once we have that solid contract as our foundation, we can start building up our second pillar: risk management. I love this analogy. If contract management sets the rules of the game, then risk management is all about anticipating every single possible move your opponent, or in this case, the universe, could make. The key word here, honestly, is prevent. This is not about cleaning up messes after they happen. It's about actively planning and monitoring to stop those messes from ever happening in the first place. Think of it as the proactive defense system for your project's overall health.
And just like with contracts, this isn't guesswork. It's a structured discipline. It's about classifying risks and, this part is absolutely critical, prioritizing them. Why? Because you can't fight every single battle. It's about using proven frameworks and tools to manage those threats all the way through the project lifecycle.
Okay, so you've done the work. You've got a strong contract. You've got a robust risk plan. But what happens when things still go sideways? Because let's be real, they sometimes do. That's where our third and final pillar comes into play: claims and disputes.
Look, even with the absolute best planning in the world, issues are going to pop up. The goal here isn't to pretend they won't. It's to have a standardized process ready to manage them when they do. And that focus on early resolution, man, that's everything.
It's what stops a small problem from blowing up into a huge, costly, project-derailing battle.
Okay, now take a look at this list of common causes. You see it? Delays, changes to scope, unforeseen circumstances. This should be a huge aha moment. You can see immediately how these aren't just random problems. They're the exact symptoms of weak contract and risk management. It's amazing, right? The first two pillars are basically the cure for the most common causes of the third one.
And here it is, the whole thing laid out all together. This framework really shows you how it all connects. You've got contract management driving performance, risk management preventing exposure to nasty surprises, and claims and disputes focusing on that all-important early resolution. Yeah, they're distinct disciplines for sure, but their real power, that comes when they all work together, in concert.
And this right here is the ultimate takeaway. If you remember one thing, make it this. Success isn't about being a rock star at just one of these pillars in isolation. It's all about integrating the three of them. That's the secret sauce. That's how you finally make the shift from constantly putting out fires to building a genuinely fire-resistant project right from the very beginning.
So, let's leave you with this final thought. As you're looking at this three-pillar framework, take a second and think about your own work, your current projects. Where's your biggest opportunity for improvement? Is it in strengthening your contracts? Maybe it's about building a much more proactive risk strategy. Or is it about creating a smarter, faster process for resolving disputes when they pop up? Whatever your answer is, that's your first step toward building a way more successful future.